Hello, my name is Amelia. I wanted to talk about something that has gotten a lot of media attention lately, and something that I've always cared very deeply about. I am a women's studies major from Salem State College, not university because I'm that old. And when I was in college, I did talks, or I led discussions. I didn't give talks. I led discussions about consent and SA in college, like health classes and at orientation, stuff like that. And I've done a lot of research on the topic. So I wanted to make this video for anyone who has any intention of having an intimate relationship with a woman or really with a human, because this is a very widespread thing. And women, men, boys, girls, non-binary people, trans people, we like people of all colors, people of all shapes, sizes, ethnic backgrounds, sexualities, whatever. A lot of us are affected by this. It's very widespread. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I have this, I pulled up a thing from the CDC. So this is like an official website, and it says at least 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 20 boys in the United States experience child SA. So that's a whole lot of people. So when you go out in the world and when you interact, especially with girls and women, you need to kind of come into that situation with the assumption that maybe they have been gone through this horrible thing, and it has an effect on people. There's a thing called like the ACE. I forget if it's called the ACE study, but it's adverse childhood effects, and it kind of measures like all the traumatic or harmful things that a person or a child has been through. It's well documented. When this happens to someone, it affects them. Some people are lucky it doesn't affect them very much. They can go on with their lives. That's cool too. That's amazing. But a lot of people, when something like this happens, it affects them for the rest of their lives. And we need to go into all of our interactions with other humans as if that might be the case with this person. So especially in more intimate relationships, if you're, looking to connect with a woman or a man, anyone in a relationship, keep in mind that this is something that could have happened. So you need to be gentle with the person, and you need to settle for nothing less than informed, enthusiastic, and of age consent. So no one under 18 is legally able to give consent because their brains are still developing. They're not really, that's kind of a safeguard, yeah, there are some people who are under 18 or whatever the age may be in your state or wherever you live. Some people might be able to consent and, be fine with it, but you need to keep in mind that these laws are there to protect children from exploitation. So that's the the of age part of it. But informed, talk to the person beforehand about what your expectation is. Are you expecting that this might lead to a relationship? Are you expecting that this is going to be a one-night thing and you never want to see the person again? If that's the case, that's kind of skeezy, but whatever floats your boat. But you need to talk to the other person. You can't just be intimately involved with someone and assume that they're going to be okay with you never talking to them again, because that's cheesy. I don't know what else to say. You need to talk to the person. Intimate relationships have the potential to have trauma intricately linked to it for this person. So you need to talk to them and be like, hey, I just kind of want to, do this thing with you, and then say, I don't know, what is the French word? Or au revoir, or adios, or whatever, you have to actually talk to the person and make sure it's okay with them, because otherwise you're just not a good person. Sorry. But if you're you just want to be friends and you want to, do this thing together. That's cool, as long as everyone is on the same page and everyone knows that it's just a friendship. There's not going to be anything more, Like, you need to be upfront. You need to let this person be informed and make their own decisions. If you're, let's say you're polyamorous and you're like, hey, I want to, be able to be with other people, like, and you have to be okay that they're going to be able to be with other people, because you can't have it like one way. It's not fair. It's, unless, I don't know, if you find someone that's cool with that, then more power to you. But, it needs to be discussed. Everything needs to be discussed. And then the other part, enthusiastic. Like, you can't just go and do something and assume the other person is into it if they're just laying there. They might be too scared to say no. There's the, I think they call it like fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, which, like, we all know fight and flight. Obviously if someone fights you or runs away, that's a pretty good sign that they're not, consent is not enthusiastic at all. I'm sure we all know that. But someone could be, because of their past trauma, they could freeze and they might not be able to assert themselves and say no. They might be scared, So you need to, like, watch for the signs and, kind of decipher, is this person, like, really okay with this? Because, like, communication is a two-way street, and even the person on the receiving end of the communication needs to be responsible for, like, being like, hey, something feels off here. Like, they're giving me these signs that maybe they're not so into it, so I need to check in with them. And you just say, hey, is this okay with you? Like, it's not a big deal, just do it. Would you rather, like, someone be scarred for life because of you when you had your fun and they were traumatized? Like, you don't want to be that person. So yeah, I was gonna say something else and I kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, enthusiastic consent, like, fawn. That was the other thing I was gonna say. Fawn is, like, it's similar to freeze, but it's kind of just like laying there, like, just laying back and kind of, I would call it like acquiescing. And acquiescing is not consent. It's really not. Like, you don't want to have a situation with someone where you had your fun and they're scarred for life and they're going to hate you forever. You don't want that kind of, negative energy. Or, like, they might, like, tell other people, like, hey, this person did this thing and I wasn't cool with it. Like, you don't want to be that person. Don't do it. So yeah, so I think that's everything I wanted to say. So just, be nice to each other. My child and I came up with this, from Bill and Ted. We used to have our house rule was be excellent to each other. So, be like Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other, and, be empathic and gentle with people. And I mean, some people are into, like, rough situations, and that's cool too. You talk about it, like, it's whatever floats your boat and the other person or persons, if that's what you're into, like, everyone needs to be respected in the situation, or you're just not a good person. That's all. And if you lie to get what you want, you're not a good person. Sorry. Hate to break the news to you. All right. Thank you. Bye.